video. There we go. Cathy Sachs and I have a Pilates practice. We're going to work with some of the Pilates principles, and the first one is abdominal strength. So I'm kind of facing the camera so that you, when you look at this video, can hear me. The abdominal strength, there's a deep sheath of muscles. And let me sort of stand here. Perfect. It goes from the pubic bone to the hip points, wraps around the waist, comes into the spine, and then wraps to the bottom ribs. It's like a corset shape, and you can take a hand to your belly and use your breath. Exhale deeply, like a sounded, and the belly draws in. You know that from yoga. And inhales, the belly softens as the diaphragm kind of drops down or up. And as the diaphragm moves up, the belly draws in. We're going to accentuate that and use conscious control to say abdominal muscles concentrate. So it's a, I'm sitting sideways so you can see me, Cathy, both now and in the video. As you draw the top of the hip points up, the hip points move away from the femur, and there's a scoop of the belly, a concentrated of the belly muscles this way. So it's a little bit like a cat movement, right? Scoop the belly, concentrate the fibers of the abdominal cavity. Stay here, even on the inhale, and then release. Yeah, so it's use your exhale to pull it in, stay for a breath, consciously keeping this engaged, and then on the next inhale, release it. It's to exhale back, because we'll use this in a minute. It's a concentration right below the belly button, above the pubic bone, right there. To keep it drawn in for a moment, and then on the next inhale, release it. So it changes the shape of the lower back a little bit, but you're not trying to flatten the lower back. It's an exhale, and if you take your hands here as you scoop, and a little bit of a rounded back helps you access that scoop right here a little bit more, and then release up to a tall seated position. Exhale, and you can actually start challenging this by tucking the tail, like your tail's being pulled towards the front, and it's a slight lean back. We can do this from a seated on the floor position also. Stay for the inhale, and then roll forward, and then re-stack the spine.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. We can do this from a seated position, and we need some height to sit on. There are some pads, but what do I prefer? There's some pads. I think those other pads might be better. Get something to sit on, and then I'm going to have you come down to a seated position. But you need it. Height is good. Oh, I'll just surrender to using the pads. Surrender to using the pads. I'm hoping that they're a good height. All right. I want you to come down to seated and sit on these two pads.
Oh,
okay.
That should be too hard.
You always say that. You do just fine. You can use the chair. That's one of the reasons it's here. And then if you want to slide the pads behind you, you're welcome to. Whatever is the best way for you to come to seat. So you can just slide those behind you if you want. Do you want me to do that? And you're usually going to be bent. Oh, you were. Oh, okay. And then come to sit. Can you get up on these? Okay. You're right behind you. You can use this if you want. Whatever is easiest. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then your feet are on the floor. Knees bent. Okay.
Okay.
I'm probably going to come behind you in a minute, but this is already probably challenging you a little bit. I'm going to show you. Let me show you, and then I'll come behind you. You're here. You'd see, but you've got some height, which is good. I want you to exhale back. This is firmed up. Stay for the inhale and then roll back up.
Yep, so a back and.
So yeah, and you're trying to scoop here, scoop here, scoop here, scoop here, and then come back up. Exhale, scoop here, scoop here, scoop here. Stay for the inhale, but keep this muscle engaged. And then come up to seated. Now there is something that will help. Think about isometrically drawing, squeezing the knees together. And go ahead and yeah, so that means move the legs towards each other and see if that helps fire this muscle more. Exhale back, yeah, scoop, scoop, scoop. Inhale and stay and then roll back up. That's a half roll back is what this is.
Did I do that right?
Yeah, you did. So and it feels like your tailbone is being drawn towards your heels. So you're looking to curl the lumbar spine, the lower back, into scoop, scoop, scoop the belly, scoop, 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 scoop. Squeeze the knees towards each other and then come back up to seated. So it's a little bit like endurance sit-up where you just hold a slight incline for a breath and then you come back up. Is that, and where do you feel that in your belly? Do you feel that in your belly in terms of supporting you?
Here.
Perfect.
And here.
Yes, yes, that is where you would feel it.
Okay.
So go 2 more times, exhale back. When you get stronger and stronger and stronger, you can lift your arms to parallel to the floor. So, and since I'm here with you, I want you to try that. You can have your hands on your knees, but try your arms out parallel. And then scoop the belly. And then you stay, and then you roll, restack the spine on the next exhale. So come up to seated. Pull, pull, pull yourself up with the abdominals. Hinge or roll, scoop back. So the belly scoops. Yeah. Stay. And then hinge forward, keeping this engaged, keeping all these muscles engaged. I could feel your belly do it. That was really good.
Okay.
Okay. Now the next piece is to do it from lying, half roll up from lying down. So come onto the sticky mat.
Get down.
Yeah, so get your butt on the mat. Yeah, and then we're gonna, the sticky pads are sticky. And then you're gonna tell me if you need a blanket, but I just put those rollers behind you. I want you to roll all the way down so your head is on these pads. The pads.
Oh, you want me to go?
The pads are behind you in a stack. Okay.
Okay.
And I want you to come down onto your back. Yeah. Yep. Knees up. Now, are you comfortable? Bend the knees. Is that comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am wondering about, is your back comfortable? Because if I elevate your feet a little bit, you might be even more comfortable.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm doing all right.
All right. I'm going to kind of sit on the other side of you so my voice goes toward the camera, okay? Moving the chair out of the way for the moment. There's a different movement that's part of the abdominal movement, and that deep sheath of muscles goes from the bottom ribs to the top of the hip points, to the pubic bone. I want, in a minute, I'm going to want you to firm up right here by moving the ribs down, but you're going to want to take your hands behind your head. It's not pulling the head. It's just supporting the back of the skull with the heels of the hands resting into the head. Will your shoulders be comfortable there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, it is not pulling the head. It's actually, I want your head to luxuriously rest back. There is a little bit of a nod of the skull, so the head nods a little bit, which is starting to flex the spine, but then the moving muscle is here. I want the front bottom ribs to move downward to lift up your upper back so you can look over your knees. Inhale to prepare, good. Exhale to lift the upper back, look towards the bar on the other side of the rib.
The bar.
There's a bar running along the wall, because this room used to be used for bar.
Okay.
So don't worry too much about the breath pattern, even when you're watching this video. But the exhale does help you concentrate the abdominal muscles. So the cueing is inhale to prepare, exhale to firm up the belly muscles and flex up and look at the bar.
Okay. Then tell me what to do.
Yeah, so inhale to prepare, and exhale, it is rolled up to a half seated, headed to a seated position. And I want you to do that now as you move those ribs downward, and then inhale and release back down. Now, you're gonna take a moment to take your hands wherever they're comfortable, because I want you to see what I'm doing. Can you kind of see?
Yeah.
I'm not pulling my head. I'm going to inhale to prepare and nod the head. Exhale, my front bottom ribs are going to move toward my hips, and that's going to flex me up to a position, and my head is resting into my hands. This is the inhale. And on the exhale, roll back down. You're looking for all these muscles right here to flatten and tone. Inhale, nod the head. Exhale, the bottom ribs move down. You stay for the inhale. This is all flat and firm. Exhale, roll, lengthen the back down to the ground. So it's basically a version of an old-fashioned sit-up. It's just trying to really cue the abdominal muscles very specifically as to how they can tone up. So you're looking for muscles right here.
Okay.
So hands behind the head to support the head. Inhale to prepare and nod the head. Yes, exhale, now flex up and look over the knees. And then roll back down. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
It might be hard, but you're moving all your muscles. I think you're going to be able to take the upper back away from the ground and look over your knees.
Like this?
Yes, like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I want. And you'll stay for an inhale, and then you'll roll back down on the exhale. So you stay for like 5 seconds, and we'll do that a few times. Okay.
Okay.
So the cueing of the breath is inhale to prepare and nod the head. Exhale, flex up and look over the knees like you just did. Excellent. Stay for the inhale, and then rest back. That's one. Inhale to prepare, exhale to nod the head and move the flex up and look over the knees. Come, yeah, you're perfect movement because these move down. Stay for the inhale and roll back down. You got it.
I got it.
Yeah. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to roll up. Yeah. You're wrinkling all the fabric right here. And roll back down. Keep going. Yeah. Inhale, stay and stay up. Exhale, move the ribs even further down so you can flex up even higher. It's not pulling the head. And then on the inhale, roll back down. You did great, Cathy.
I'm mixing up the inhale and the exhale.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it, just keep moving.
Okay.
Inhale to prepare. Exhale, flex up. Stay. And I'm gonna actually have you flex up higher. Can you come up higher? Oh yes, and those ribs move down. And then roll back down. Can you go one more time?
Mm-hmm.
Seems like you go all day. Yeah, stay. And this time I want you to flex up a little higher. Yes, Cathy, and these muscles go in, yeah, and the ribs go down. Yes, beautiful. That's great. All right. Bring your arms down by your sides. We're gonna play with bringing one leg up into tabletop. So you bring
this leg, left leg up, foot rises, stabilize the trunk. Tap the foot to the floor and bring it back up. And then slide the leg out and challenge so it slides out and then bring it back in. So you went from a toe tap to a stretching the leg out. And now the second side. Left foot rises and just tap the floor and then bring it back up. And then extend the leg out and then bend the knee and bring it back in. And then now keep that right leg high, right foot high, and bring the left foot high. Yep. And then you can keep the legs together. That might give you more stability. So bring the legs together. Now, just bend the knees and tap the feet to the floor. And you're trying to, you're using abdominal muscles to support that. And then bring them back up. And the belly muscles go in as you tap the feet to the floor. Bring them back up. Go 4 more times.
And what do I do?
Drop the toes towards the floor, bring them back up. Use the exhale, the pronounced exhale to draw the belly muscles in and tap the feet to the floor. And inhale, bring them back up. Exhale, tap the feet to the floor and bring them back up. I'm holding your pelvis a little bit. Exhale, drop the feet to the floor and bring them back up. One more time, drop the feet to the floor, bring them back up. And then one foot and then the other to the floor. How was that?
It's all right.
Yep.
Little work.
Take a strap and I want you to wrap your hands around the inside of the strap like this. And I want you to pull it apart. No, you're staying there. And your elbows go wide. It will look like this. Pull, release. Pull, and your elbows are wide. Will your elbows allow that? Pull and release. Yeah, it is. I'm definitely talking to your shoulder blades. As you pull, you want your shoulder blades to slide towards each other.
My shoulder blades towards each other.
Yeah, let me turn around for a minute. So I'm pulling, it looks like this, pull, right? And you're pulled. But what I want is, watch my shoulder blades. As I pull, I want this area, the inside edge of the shoulder blade here and here to slide towards each other. So so it'll pull. Can you see that through my shirt that I pull and my shoulder blades move towards each other?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the shoulder blades slide towards each other and hopefully the muscles back here tone and the skin wrinkles. So it's a pull, pull, pull.
Okay, so it's
And you can use anything, so it's a
pull.
pull. Not a push. That's pushing toward, I know.
So
It looks like we can do pushes, but right now we're doing pulls.
like this?
Yes,
Okay. So
pull. And then release. Use the exhale to pull, pull, and release. Pull, and release. The top of the chest is broad, this part of the chest is broadening. Pull, and release. One more pull, and release. And really, Cathy, you could use anything. You can use a stretchy band and pull and release, pull and release. This was just the easiest things I could find.
okay.
It's a gym thing. Now you can work with the same thing, but it's different. Take your heels of your hands here, and it's to push. So it is the heel of the hands, pushing, pushing. So you can take anything like a pillow and push. And what happens is it's the pec muscles right here that are doing a lot of the work.
Is that right?
Now, wrap your hands around the inside of the pads. Your elbows go as wide as is comfortable, and you're going to pull it apart again. Exhale out. That's pushing, right? That's pushing?
Do I want to push?
No, you want to pull. You want to pull the ring apart. Pull. Yep. Nice. Last time. Now, I want you to draw the knees into the chest and tip them into my hip. I want you to pull the ring apart and really emphasize your right elbow pulling. And push into me, push the legs into me, yep, and pull the ring apart. And then bring the knees back to center. And then I'm gonna come over to the other side. So it's a slight sway, you can do this without me, but I'm just keeping the, and then push the knees into my hip, pull the ring apart. And that stability here helps your pelvis support the work here. Now, I'm gonna have you sway your knees this way.
Okay.
And pull the ring apart. And emphasize this shoulder pulling as the knees go that way. And now bring the knees to the center. And as your knees come this way, I'm not supporting you. You're gonna pull so that the opposite shoulder firms up, so that left shoulder
So you
firms
drop
up.
on here?
Mm-hmm. And then bring the knees back to center. And take the feet to the floor. Was that helpful?
Mm-hmm.
Stabilizing, I want you to take the right leg out.
This way?
All the way onto the ground, extend it out. Draw the left knee into the chest. I'll show you what, I'll go with you for a minute. Right leg out, left leg. Now take your hands to your hip points. You don't want your hips to wobble. You want to firm up the abdominal muscles to support the leg, and I want you to circle the leg. So you're sort of drawing circles with the knee on the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. That?
Yeah, and what you want to do is the abdominal muscles. So, yeah, keep going. Yeah, you're not wobbling much at all, but if you were to challenge yourself, it would be to firm up right here to keep the leg, the pelvis more stable. Pilates is a lot about trunk stabilization. So take the leg high up to the ceiling. And now try circles. I'm going to come to the other side. Now try circles with the leg high without the pelvis wobbling. So circle the leg around 3 times in each direction. And I want you to firm up right there. Yeah? Firm up right there. Yep. Firm up right there. Great. And then the other way. Cathy, you have good control of your muscles. You just need to keep strengthening them. 2, 3. And then bend this knee and place the leg on the floor. This leg can go all the way down. Draw the other knee in. Now first do the circles. Your hands are on your hip points, which are these points right here, okay? Those are the bony landmarks of your pelvis. You don't want them to wobble right to left by firming up the abdominals. Circle the knee. 3 times around. 1, 2. Do you feel your hips sort of wobbling a little bit from right to left? So
Yeah.
try firming up here. Yeah, good response. Yeah, and then the other way. And firm up here, yeah.
It's a constant kind of conversation. And now take the leg high. It's more challenging, you've got more weight. Circle the leg 3 times in each direction, firming up the belly. And then the other way. Good going, Cathy. And then circle the other way. Firming up here. And then stop with the leg high. You can always do this with a strap. You can bend your knees slightly if you need to. And it's just to give that leg a stretch. So you're stretching the back of the leg. And that'll help in terms of just mobility too. Okay. Got it? You've got straps at home, or a belt, or a long scarf, or a rope?
I'll have to see what I can find.
Okay.
I think I have a strap.
Okay. Now, can you draw the left foot in and see if you can catch the left foot? Release the right foot. Yep, and then give that leg a little stretch up to the ceiling. So that should be the back of the thigh. Yep.
Okay.
All right. A little stretch, a little strength, some leg circles. So we're going to release the foot from the prop. So we worked with half roll back. We've worked with half roll, the roll up. We worked a little bit with talking to the shoulder blades, and how when your knees go one way, the opposite shoulder firms up. So as your knees go one way, as your knees bend one way, the opposite shoulder tones up. As your knees go this way, the opposite. So knees go to the right, shoulders to the left, that firms up. Then we worked with some leg circles, just legs in the air, and you're looking for abdominal strength to support the mobility of the legs, which you can do in lying down, or you can do it in standing up.
So I can use a strap to do what we did with that?
Yes, you can use a
Okay,
strap. Let me check the time.
It is.
1:40, basically, that according to that clock. Does that agree with you?
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to do just a little bit of side lying. How are you lying on your side?
I never lie on my side, but I
Let's
can do it.
let's actually, we've got about 20 minutes. Let's actually take some of the stuff we've been doing into standing up, okay? Would
Okay.
you like a chair?
To stand up?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Coming your way. How would you like me to place the chair? Like this?
Yeah.
Or, yep.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know why it became so difficult for me to get on the floor and come up.
Well, it might have to do with belly, legs, butt, don't you think? Because is it flexibility, or is it strength, or a little bit of both?
I think it's both. Okay.
So let's use this as a prop, and I'm gonna take this out of the way so it's not. And you face me, and I'll face you, and I want you to just take one hand to this. Now, we did leg circles by firming up the belly and lifting a leg, and it was circling with the knee, and then it was circling with the leg, but we won't do the extended. So you're gonna take the foot away from the roller, should be your left leg, and just bring the toe up. Yeah, it's gonna challenge your balance a little bit too, but you're gonna rely on belly, belly, belly drawing in, which is a little bit a sense of the tail dropping, yeah? And the hip points coming up and the belly drawing in, all right? while you're here, circle the knee. It can be the teeniest little circle. And then the other way, yeah? But the focus is belly. And if you want to just start with lifting the knee, it's very similar. And then placing it back down. But it's belly. So it looks a little bit like this. If my back was rounded and my belly was broad this way, I wouldn't have as much strength. So I want to draw the belly in. It's a little bit lengthening the back. And so it is top of the thigh and the hip flexor, but it's also the abs supporting the pelvis with the lower back. And that's one of the reasons I started with this is because of what you told me about the whole band being uncomfortable, that I think you need more support for your pelvis and your legs, okay? And then try looking up. If you need the mirror, it's right over there. Okay, if you want to go this way, it might be helpful to you, okay? Do you want to shift to your left so you can see the mirror?
Yeah.
Because I know that the information of being able to see your feet or your legs is really helpful, okay? So let's try the second side. If you take the roller to your left, we're aspiring to one hand on the roller. You can use two if you need to, but that takes your weight a little bit, your shoulders a little that way. Firm up the belly, which means right here draws in, and the tail drops. The tail drops, the tail drops, which means the ribs also gently go this way. And then I want you to look in the mirror and draw up your right heel. Look in the mirror so you don't have to rely on the mirror.
Okay.
Because if you look down, see how the head and my shoulders weights, it changes the weight over your feet. And then what I want you to do is belly, and then lift, lift, lift. So, yeah, that's a great practice for you. Are you comfortable looking in the mirror to be able to see?
I feel like I'm gonna lose.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stand closer to you. Okay, look in the mirror, and it's a drop of the tail, a scoop of the belly, it's a lift of the hip points up. Yeah, you did it. Now, yeah. Do you feel more stable?
No.
Okay, belly. Yes, did you see the wrinkle in your fabric in your clothes? It was perfect. And then just try to lift the toe just a little bit, and then place it back down, and then recommit to belly. It's a constant conversation with the abdominal muscles because they like to turn off.
Okay, so
It's a raise of the hip points, a scoop of the concentration of the belly. Yeah. Go, Cathy, go. That's great, Cathy. Do you see how your body changed shapes when you, just watch your frame. Scoop this in, and you've got that wrinkle. Drop your tail, lift your hip points up, scoop the belly even more. Look at the frame of your back, and you looked more balanced over your pelvis.
my back comes up as opposed to being so rounded.
Go, Cathy, go.
Okay.
But you really have to commit to that belly scoop. I hope the camera caught that wrinkle in your fabric that you and I can see.
Okay, the belly scoop.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. So that's really low abdominals. Now scoop. Now try the other side again. Now once you get set up, I want you to look up because it does change your head, shoulders, because that instead of pulling your weight over one foot, to one side or the other. Yeah. And then I think this is helpful. Scoop of the belly. Yeah. Lift of the hip points. Yes. And now lift that left heel and recommit to scoop of the belly. Lift of the hip point. That red shirt is wrinkling just in the right place. That's great. Because you can't see it, but the lower back is lengthening, which gives you more space all through the spine. And then, you can even, this is just a little of nothing. It's just a tip of the skull up. No, try this way.
Like that?
Mm-hmm. Scoop of the belly. Lift of the hip points. It's your new mantra. Scoop of the belly. Lift of the hip points. You're so good, Cathy.
How did I get so out of shape?
Because you got knocked by a procedure that saved your life, but you couldn't do anything for a long time.
I was sick for 8 or 9 months before
Well, of course
they knew what I had. So there was that.
Cathy, no, that was like a year and a half of not really moving very much, and you're a very active person. So you're just like reclaiming, You're just reclaiming. It's your new project, And you know that because that's why you keep coming in.
Yeah.
You know it's good for you. Scoop of the belly, yes, that is super.
Okay. This is going to take a lot of practice.
Yeah, I'm glad to give you, this is a good one. Now, at home, to replicate this, you want to find a tall stick pole. I would suggest being near a wall.
Okay.
Because if you're near a wall, there's no walls. Oh, right here. If you're near a wall, and I know the camera can't see me, but if you're near a wall, maybe just a fist or two, when you work on lengthening the back and lifting the knee, then if you need to, there's some support here. And you've also got a pole or a stick in front of you.
Right. Well, I can be near a wall for this to practice.
So this is going to strengthen, you're trying to tone, you're letting your abdominals be the main focus, because it is going to challenge your legs and your butt too. But what you came in with is that something's going on with your pelvis, back, leg region, and I think you need more stability here so that this is in a good alignment with the legs and the back. I think.
It is not.
I think it is part of what will help you with that managing. So if the pelvis, like when you came in, I noticed your pelvis seemed a little further anteriorly, tipped this way, and your belly was a little further rounded out. I'm exaggerating so you can see what I mean. So that I gave you exactly what we had been talking about, was the Pilates drawing in of the abdominals, the lift of the hip points, which makes a drop of the tail, and gives you support for the pelvis and the lower back as you work with one leg and then the other, basically doing any kind of walking movement, where you swing your leg forward so that your pelvis doesn't go forward with the leg. Is that helpful? I'd like to come back while you're standing here. You can also do this against a wall. I'm looking for a band. Any kind of rope, band, even a pad for your shoulders and upper back. We use this, but you can pull, just try to.
I can use this?
I'm gonna come behind you, yeah. Just, it's a gentle pull of it apart. Just try pulling it apart, and what I want is these back muscles to, and the elbows go wide. So it's,
Like that?
Yeah, so you want these muscles to try to do the pulling movement, yep. And then try this, because it's much more straightforward in terms of, it's a ribbing. So pulling that apart, so these muscles, the shoulder blades slide in, the elbows are wide, the collarbone is spreading, and then try scooping the belly, lifting the hip points, and then pull apart, pull, 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 pull. How's that, Cathy?
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Do you want to go over what we did so that it's replicable?
Okay,
Okay.
I'll say yes. Yeah.
All right, do you want to come all the way down to the floor, or do you want me to do it? I wonder if I can, we could go back to sitting in the chair to do it, and that way you could repeat it in the chair also.
Okay.
Let's do that. All right, shifting the rollers out of the way. Shifting the chair back into the picture. You can sit here, and I'll bring a chair and sit sideways.
Okay.
You got your chapstick.
I do, my dry lips.
Yeah. Yeah, I have, this time of year, I can't drink enough or keep my lips.
Yeah.
All right, you're here, you want to scoop the belly, hinge the hips up so that you can slide back. You can take your hands to your thighs, but your hands can be here. They can be here or here. You want to keep the belly scooped and then hinge back up. Hinge back on the exhale. And then roll up on the inhale. It's the lower back or the lumbar spine that feels like you're curling the tailbone under as you scoop the belly. That's the exhale. You can stay for the inhale and exhale back up and restack the spine tall. It's harder to replicate using these muscles when you're in a seated position. So you feel that was low abdominals. We also did the half roll up where we used just the muscles we aimed for the muscles right under the rib cage. Seated, it's harder to replicate that, so I'm not going to even try. But you can hold on to the chair, and we scooped the belly, drew the hip points up, lengthened the lower back, and we lifted a knee. And this is plenty, or you can circle a couple of times, but you're looking for the belly to scoop, yes, and then you can circle the knee a couple of times the other way. So that scoop of the belly sets the pelvis in place. You also have to use thigh and hip and butt, and then place that leg back down. And then scoop the belly, lengthen the back is what it feels like to me, and then you circling the knee and hold on to the chair, and then the other way. And where do you feel that in your leg?
In here.
And then I added, because it's good for the upper back and it does start translating into supporting the pelvis. Scoop the belly and then pull apart and release. Pull apart and release. You're trying to get the shoulder blades to squeeze towards each other. And it's a little bit like the elbows are moving out and back, out and back. Yep. And then eventually what'll happen is when you have a knee that goes off to the side, this diagonal of one shoulder firming up as opposed, and the weight going this way will help support the pelvis and stay in a neutral position.
Okay. So bring this leg up.
Try, pull. We'll just march. But you want your belly to scoop as you stretch pull the ring apart and slide the shoulder blades in towards each other. Let's just march with the legs right in front of you for now. Yeah. Great. And then put the ring down beside you. And slide your feet back so your heels are a little bit off the ground, that you can look in the mirror. Because what I want to work on is coming to a place where you're about to stand, but I want you to scoop the belly and lengthen the back and have that support you. So your feet are far enough back that your heels start a little off the ground, because as you rock forward, your feet will come down. But as right as you're about to launch, so come into a hinge, right here, the tail is back, your hands can be on your knees. Take your feet a little further back, a little further. Yeah, now as you come here and you're starting to put weight on your knees, so if your tailbone is back, I want you to drop the tail and scoop the belly, and then have that be the emphasis of 10 little lifts. Scoop the belly. You can take your hands to your knees. Take your hands to your knees for a moment. Scoop the belly. You can even take a hand to your belly and scoop the belly. Take your hand right below your belly button, and as you come up, it scoops in. Scoops in. Yep. Let's go 7 more times, okay? In. Keep going. That was 6, 5. Yeah, nice. 4, nice. Tailbone down. 3, tailbone down. Nice. Change hands. 2, 1, and come all the way up to standing. Whoa, go ahead and walk around the room.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was using abdominal strength to support you when you're working on your legs and your squats. How was that, Kat?
That's fine. I feel better.
That's great. Of course you do. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
You know what you need.
Yeah.
So I hope that, so let me turn off the video. Cathy Sachs having another Pilates practice. See you next week.